Excellent. Whammer Jammer. So it's an instrumental used to either warm the crowd up in the beginning or maybe give Peter Wolf a break in the middle, something like that. Good track, man. Okay, so Whammer Jammer. Whammer Jammer appears on Live Full House. It's the first live album by American rock band, the Geils band, released in '72. The album peaked at number 54 on the Billboard 200 album chart in the US. The tracks Looking for a Love and Serves You Right to Suffer enjoyed considerable radio airplay, thus setting up the breakthrough success of the band's next album, 1973's Bloodshot. The album was cited as one of the top 5 live rock and roll albums of all time by Walter de Padua. Padua. The album's cover depicts a poker hand, but the hand shown is not a full house. As defined by the rules of the game, this is intentional. The queen in the poker hand is winking. The title is also a play on words, referring to a packed concert venue or full house by concert promoters. This was the first of 3 live albums recorded by the Geils band. The others were Blow Your Face Out in '76 and Showtime in '82. Although living in Boston, the band had always considered Detroit their second home because of their enormous popularity there. 2 of their 3 live albums were recorded in Detroit at various venues. The 3rd live album was recorded in Detroit and Boston. Nice. It's very interesting, how some bands just seem to really have, in some regions, it's just such a popular front, such a great fan base in some areas. Like Boston as well, I believe. Bob Seger as well is really, really well respected in Boston and Detroit, speaking of Bob Seger. So yeah, it's interesting how in some regions, some acts are just so big, and I also mentioned too in my previous reaction on the Beyond channel, some acts are not as popular in their home country and they have to go abroad to get that popularity established. And then it seems that now they've got to kind of go back home and as sung heroes and kind of then kind of collect that notoriety that was evading them in the first place. I don't know if Led Zeppelin, for example, would fit into that category. I think they probably did, though, fit into that category. And a couple of other notable bands back in that era had to go to America, get themselves established, and then kind of go back home. And then at that point in time, the platform has been really well established. I think that's how it goes for a lot of bands, man. All right, so Whammer Jammer. I'm just checking out my notes here before I bounce, just seeing what I got coming up. Yeah, so I got reactions I gotta hit up, man. Charles, Brian, Antoine, Ford, Maurice. I gotta hit up reactions for you folks. And that's what I was trying to remember. I just finished Led Zeppelin at the Whiskey A Go-Go in 1969. Check that shit out. It was really, really good, man. When they were new, they hadn't even been heard of yet, really. They were still in between that Yardbirds and Led Zeppelin thing, but Led Zeppelin wasn't really out there yet. Not officially, not in the form of an album release. It was 10 days before Led Zeppelin 1 came along. And so people who were at that venue were still unaware of who these guys were. The only notoriety at the time was Jimmy Page, because they knew him from the Yardbirds. So, but there's a great number of people in that venue. I believe the venue holds 300 people. that didn't know who they were. So the first exposure to these guys in '69 and their powerful glory of only 20 years old must have been a punch in the face. So up close and personal. So you got to check that shit out, man. And as well, I've got Ginger Baker documentary I want to get to coming up. I believe that's Brian's recommendation. And I'm going to finish the Led Zeppelin full album reactions, and the last one in the shoot is Physical Graffiti. Maybe it isn't the last one because Coda is also a Led Zeppelin album, but a lot of people feel that it isn't quote unquote a real Led Zeppelin album because it came so many years after and it's a compilation. But let me know if you might want to see a full album reaction to Coda as well. And yeah, so coming up, I want to do just a few more live reactions, and I want to do a few more documentaries, that sort of thing. So I'm looking at different things like that coming up where it comes to where my channel is going for the rest of the year. So with that said, Vernon, thank you. This was a really, really good look at the Geils band, man. Early Geils. They really know how to rock a house. Could you imagine these guys doing a back-to-back show with the likes of Grand Funk Railroad? Sam, do you know the money that I would pay to see that shit? Man, let me tell you, that would be a great, great show to have them do that back-to-back. They would complement each other really well. Let me know what you think of that, you know? If you're talking about putting a dream match together where it comes to a show, a jamming night, or maybe even a weekend, that sort of thing, I would pair these guys up with Grand Funk Railroad. That would be the shit, let me tell you. So Geils band, yeah, and in regards to the Geils band, again, the thing I'm curious the most about is why did Peter Wolf leave? And did they take a break in between the 70s and the 80s, that transitional period, or were they just going straight through, just business as usual? Let me know about that. That'd be quite interesting. All right. Thanks for joining me, y'all. I hope you like this. Vernon, thank you again. And next time you see me will probably be, yeah, it'll be tomorrow. Charles. I'll be doing Charles. I can't remember if it's a quad or an album reaction, but it'll be Charles's reaction tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.